Hello, everyone. My name is Willis. I was the first ever student body representative on the Board of Education for Monroe-Woodbury School District. While it feels like many moons ago that occurred, it also feels like it just happened yesterday when Ms. Rodriguez brought me to the principal's office and informed me that the board decided to choose me. It was a great experience. I'll never take any of that time for granted. And now I'm here to share a couple of my thoughts of being in the position and a couple years later reflecting back on how that position has set me up to where I am today. Initially, when she told me that I got the position, I was pretty ecstatic. I remember the first thing I told her right after was, "May I give you a hug?" I didn't know how this would change my life or how it would put me in an elevated position of responsibility, but I just knew at the time this is going to be pretty dang fun. And I also knew that I didn't have to pay for a yearbook because all the board members got it as a gift from the senior class. So always going for the perks of the job. But actually starting the day one and being taking the oath and being sworn in as a first ever student body representative on the BOE was pretty humbling. It realized to me in that moment of that, wow, I am the voice of the student body from Monroe Woodbury. From what I specifically said was the 5-year-old who just wants pizza every single day in kindergarten for lunch, or the 12th grader who doesn't know if they want to go to school or go in the military. That breadth and diverse experience of the student body is something that I know I needed to convey to the Board of Education and to the administration. Done correctly, the position given to the right person, they can do wonders. The sky is truly the limit. It allows the students the ability and to make an impact that actually matters, of making sure the students know that there is a pathway if they have to voice a concern, if they want to bring something on the net, whether it be good or bad, that they have that avenue, that student body representative, that they will be at every single board meeting. And once a month, they could bring something up, whether it be in closed session or open session in front of the public. It also presents the unique opportunity for mentorship for that one student. The importance of working through and with build administrators and understanding, hey, you might be a senior in high school, but technically on the Board of Ed, the superintendent works for the school district and you're her or his boss. The tremendous responsibility of the superintendent not only overseeing your position as a student rep, the board overseeing your position as a student rep. It fosters a beautiful opportunity for mentorship for that student to understand how to work with adults in a professional setting, how to correctly and respectfully voice your opinions, voice the opinions of students, and fully make sure that at the end of this, you are a better young man or woman because of the mentorship and guidance you got from the board, from the teachers, from the administrators, from your fellow students, and ultimately from the superintendent. Following this position into my professional life, I would say, is throughout college, throughout post-college, and where I'm at currently right now. It made me showcase the importance of visibility. There is a quote by General Colin Powell where he said, "The day soldiers stop bringing you their problems is the day you failed them as a leader. Either they have concluded that you are not able to help them or simply you do not care. Either way is a failure of leadership." Going through the ROTC program at Providence College throughout my time in university and commissioning as a second lieutenant in the Army, and still being an engineer officer in the Rhode Island Army National Guard. And on the civilian side, working for Deloitte and Touche, one of the big four in our government and public services practice as a manager within our artificial intelligence strategy. It cannot ring more true. You don't have to be a 4-star military general or a Fortune 500 CEO to know that the people around you, beside you, and those even underneath you need to make sure that the leaders above them truly care about what their needs and wants are. It is a daunting task, especially when you have everyone from 5-year-olds to 18-year-olds and all the balance of a life that each person is doing in their own respective avenue and grade, to bring all those together to showcase one picture of what the student body is, but that opportunity that it provided in high school, showcased throughout college, and now to make sure that every single opinion is heard and valued. And as said before, if done correctly, that will reverberate throughout the rest of your life. My largest priority, I would say, was to make sure that students were visible. And wow, my mom didn't love it because I did not have a car at the time, so she had to Uber drive me to every building. I made it a priority to visit every single building once a month before each Board of Education meeting to put together a comprehensive report on what each building is. Throughout those meetings with those administrators, I would always make sure to include have a meeting with the building principal, be able to have the freedom and flexibility to go into a couple classes as a just pop in, drop in, listen to just various teaching styles, seeing how the students respond. And then if possible, able to hand select by the principal a few students from that respective school to sit down and have lunch with, bring them to the office, ask them questions, and whether it just be, hey, I'm Danny. You don't have to explain the whole position of what I represent to them. It's just, hey, I'm Danny. How do you like school? For middle schoolers, hey, I'm the student body representative to the Board of Ed. How is the middle school? I was just here a few years ago. How has it changed? How is it currently? Where do you see it going? Do you see any red flags? And then in the high school is, hey, I'm Danny. We just sit at lunch together, man. Let's go get a cheese stick and talk about where do you think the drama club can go? Where do you think athletics should be supported more? And these avenues. The one area that I was not prepared for, but rolled with the punches, was specifically where when you talk to students and talk to teachers and larger issues do come up that you are not prepared for. That is where the trust in the relationship between the superintendent, the Board of Education, as well as the student body representative needs to be so strong that there might be times where the student needs to bring an issue up to the superintendent or the Board of Ed in a closed session to tell them about the feedback I've heard from a student or from different schools. While it's important to work through and with each respective building administrator, it gave a very large eye-opening experience to ensure that all parties were communicated with what the issue was to hopefully find a resolution to the problem. But at the end of the day, my priority and my biggest purpose in this role can be summed up by a young first grader at the time. Her name was Sarah. This is about 5 years ago, so she's probably about 10 years old right now. They gave us a banner at the end of the year that said hope. And in the letters of hope, each student wrote what they hoped for. This young girl named Sarah at the time wrote, "I hope I have a great day every single day at school." And no matter throughout all the visits to schools, meetings with administrators, meetings with Board of Ed members, community leaders, the superintendent, what this position truly comes down to is the message of hope. Of that, as a board, as a superintendent, students, faculty, staff, as a community, we can hope that every student goes to school and truly enjoys the education, the experience, and the environment that they are growing up in, that they are prepared for whatever the future may bring them. Military service, trade school, university, or just taking a couple gap years off and going to explore the wilderness and what's out there. It's the hope that every student can come to school and truly love what he or she does. With that being said, I thank you for the time, and I can only hope that other schools out there enact this, bring this to the public to vote on, and truly, truly ensure that each student has a great day at school.